What's good, YouTube? This is your boy Quinn Wade, basketball analysis, coming to you with a quick video. This video really don't have nothing to do with a basketball player or a team. I just wanted to tell people my view about the 18, 19, 20-year-old rules that they trying to have. I've never been a fan of people coming doing the 1 year and getting out of college. I just hated it when it first started because it really don't make no sense. I know I'm gonna tell you the whole view about the whole conversation about both sides of the story. You know I'm a guy that debates the whole thing. So they saying that the player's not ready and they too young to come out at 18, and a lot of them gotta develop their skills. They gotta get better. So Alvin Silver wants to push the limit to 20 years. And now the NBA side, the NBA players, they part of the association. So they trying to push it back to 18 or keep it at 19. But Adam Silver and some of his people wanted to be 20. Now I'm the type of person that I don't really like it going to 20 because it just you forcing somebody to do something they don't have to do. I know about the NFL and stuff, but it's other leagues in the world like golf, like tennis, that you don't have to be ready at a certain age. You just 18, 19, you can go to the pros. If you have the skill set and the tools, and if an NBA team really feels that you are a draft pick and you a player that they want, that's not your fault if you a bust. Like Darko Milicic, for example, or Ricky Rubio. It's not their fault if they become a bust because this is the player they scouting. This is what the NBA team's supposed to do as their job is, and as a scout, is to see if these players are a fit for their team. Is he a good player? How's his work ethic? How's his motor? That's their job to make sure that they picking not the NBA. So you can't say a person ain't ready, they ain't skills ain't developed enough. If an NBA player
or NBA team feel like they want to take a risk on a player coming out of high school or coming out 1 year out of college, 3, 4 years out of college, or even out of the D League, that's the team decision, not the Adam Silver. If Anthony Davis was ready to come out of high school at 17 like Kobe, it may take him 2, 3 years, but he's going to learn better on the NBA level than on the college level. Now, one thing I am a fan of is if you're not going to let him play in the NBA, like they keep it at 19. I already hate the 19. I'm going to go over that. I hate the 19 already. But if you want them to come in at 19, 1 year out of high school, you should just, even though you can't allow it, the D League should be more popular because the D League is a higher level than the college to me. I feel like the D League players, or even to prove it, some of the best college players that couldn't make it to the league plays in the NBA, but they was good in the college level, but they not good enough to be on the NBA level, or they borderline rotation bench players on the NBA, or they just fall into the D League because a lot of the D League players were good college players. They just wasn't good enough to make it in the NBA, or they made it to the NBA and they failed to the D League. But they still good players and they can play overseas if they wanted to. So the D League is better to judge a player. Say if Anthony Davis was the number 1 pick in high school, I would rather see him play in the D League than I would rather say him play in college. And D League got 7 foot centers, 6'11", big, tall, athletic players too in the D League. And the college is a couple 7 footers, a couple athletic people. Everybody else smaller, little. You taller, you quicker, you more smarter. You just more advanced. When you're in the D League, you kind of on a level because you're not a superstar yet. When you like something like Anthony Davis wasn't a dominant player his rookie year, he became a dominant player his second year. So in the D League, you would have seen what Anthony Davis needs to improve on, and he can talk to NBA level players and NBA level coaches to help him get to that level in that year. Instead of going to college, listening to a college coach, you can play the whole season in the D League, do the workouts, and it's like more of an NBA environment when you go through the D League and the tryouts and stuff. Because I seen them, so you just get better prepared for the NBA in the D League than you do in college. So I like a lot of the NBA players like Harrison and them did. Quill Carr, he didn't make it to the league, but he went to the D League. I like to see a lot of more players skip college because there's no point in going to college anyway, because you're not going there to get an education. You're going there for basketball. And the thing about the D League, you do get your injuries are covered
and you don't make a lot of money, but you actually do get paid for being in the D League. You actually do get a salary when you're in the D League, so you actually get paid, and your injuries are covered if you get signed to a contract. So, for example, when Nerlens Noel tore his ACL, he wasn't covered in college. So, say if he got injured and tore his ACL, and all the teams like, nah, Nerlens Noel, he ain't worth the draft pick because he tore his ACL. And you see, he went from being the number one pick to the number six pick. If he was in the D League, he would have got paid, and he would have actually got paid for. He probably had to come out of pocket for that ACL recovery, or his insurance had to pay some of it. He had to pay some of it. He had to come out of pocket for that ACL injury, and he would have been better developed. Look what they did for him in the NBA. Look what he did in summer league. That's just playing with NBA coaches. You learn more on the NBA level. So if he got drafted, and you know how big man is, it take longer for them to develop. If he got drafted and it took him 3-4 years, I'd rather him play 3-4 years in the NBA than 3-4 years in college, because of the experience. The work is a job, not just something you're doing for fun, not something you're just doing because you made the team and they just need a tall guy. You're doing it because it's a job, so you take it more serious. You working harder. They help you develop and becoming a better player. So that's why I didn't give an Adam Silver argument. Why would you want them to stay in college 2 years longer when they had developed more 2 years in the NBA? And the thing about the NBA now, if you're not getting NBA minutes, they had just send you to the D League so that way you can still develop, still learn how to play, and you actually still playing in games. That's the best part of D League, is that if they don't feel like you, like Adrian Payne, for example, he may not, or TJ Warren, they didn't feel like he really a NBA player, so they sent him to the D League, and he was getting playing time, and he was running the same plays, so he was learning the system, he was getting better and becoming a better player in the D League while still getting paid, and while still under contract, and while still developing. So the whole thing, you shouldn't have to go to college for 2 years, because if you go to the NBA 2 years, you still developing quicker, you still developing better because you're under the best coaches, and you playing on the highest level, and you playing against people that's in your athletic ability class. It's just way better playing in the NBA for 2 years, even in the D League, than going for college for 2 years. To come out at age 20, you'll be 20 to 21, depending on when your birthday is. Coming into the NBA, it makes your the longevity in your stay in the NBA shorter, because you just lost 2 years and being in the NBA, and then you got chances to ruin your draft stock. Then you got chances to get injured. You can get injured both seasons and then not even be able to play in the NBA. It's just too risky for a college player to stay in college for 2 years when you already a number top 30, top 60 pick. You a guaranteed lock for the playoffs like Zach LaVine was, or Andrew Wiggins. You guaranteed to get drafted. It's just too risky to stay in the NBA, college game for 2 years, and your draft stock can fall. You can get injured, and you can just fall off. And then you went from being the number one pick, like Shabazz Muhammad. He sucked. He was kind of mediocre in college. He went from being a top high school player all the way to just a mid lottery pick. So your draft stock can just keep falling if you had to stay another year. So it's just too dangerous for a college player, and it's just better. I just feel like if you can go to the military at 18, you consider grown at 18. You should be able to pursue a professional sport just like you can pursue the military. They shouldn't force you to stay into the college for another 1-2 years. If you ready to play on the NBA, you physically ready, and NBA teams want to take a chance on you, want to take a risk on you. If they want to draft you, that's their problem. If you a bust, that's their problem, because they don't want to chose you. That's their scouting department problem, and it could be a work ethic too. But it's just balance wise, they should be able to come out of high school. They grown, they can make their own decision, and if the NBA ready to make a chance on them, they should be able to take the chance and become a professional basketball player at 18 and develop, whether they're on a bench, whether they become a starter. Like Andrew Wiggins is a 19-year-old rookie. Anthony Davis, they still young. Some of the rookies was 18, like Andrew Bynum.